Hello and welcome back to another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Next to me here, we have one of the worst reviewed cars in the modern era, the Vinfast VF8. Now we're going to run through a full build quality analysis on this, seeing if this Vietnamese car is put together very cheaply or very nice or somewhere in between. I'm really excited for this, and I know a lot of you have been asking for it. So welcome back and let's jump into it.
Colton, we have done build quality reviews on Lucid, Rivian, Tesla, even nice cars as well. I'm not saying those aren't nice. But now we have our VinFast VF8. This is, of course, not a sponsored video, out of spec, would never accept a penny from any automaker. I just want to make that clear up front. And we actually went out of our way and bought this car. I mean, leased it, but I paid for this.
Yep.
So we are in no way influenced. The reason I paid for this car and got it was because VinFast wouldn't let us review their cars.
Yeah.
And so I said, screw you, I'm going to go get one.
And a pretty crazy lease deal you got on this thing, if I remember right, correct?
Yeah, it worked out to somewhere the advertised deal was like, I can't even remember, but it was like $250 a month, 0 down. It was cheap for a couple of years. Car's already paid for itself with content. I'm like, this is great. And honestly, it's been eye-opening, and I've committed, we have it here in Colorado. Normally this is Francie's car. I've committed to daily driving this for a month. So wish me luck.
Wish you luck for sure. I just had my first ever time really being up close and personal with the VF8, got to quickly drive it. Honestly, it's very unoffensive in all honesty. Like, it's not a terrible car. So I think a lot of what's happened with this car is folks have driven it. I've heard people say this is the worst car they've ever driven. And my impression from driving it was actually like, it's just a good A to B little car here. I know Kyle spent quite a bit more time in it. Francie's, of course, road tripped it all the way out here. So she did make it out here all the way from Memphis.
And
That's
dude,
cool.
we did the 10% challenge. It charges pretty nice. It's a bit e-tron-like, where it kind of just sits at 150 kilowatts.
Yep.
A lot of people drove the initial US first drives was on a car called the VF8 City Edition. And that was like, I think the model year before this one, and it had a different battery, an old software, and it truly was terrible.
Sure.
Because I drove that car and I was like, there is no way you can sell a car like this in our market. It's absolute dog crap, technical term. And I was like, okay, that was my experience up until we got this one. And then it was a lot better when we experienced this car. But even when we first took delivery, the software was crashing. It was dying. It had issues. And now Francie took it to get the newest software update, and it's actually so much better. We're talking not so much a lot of those software things in this video. It's all about body panels, paint quality, fit and finish, interior materials. But we wanted to give the background where, okay, VinFast is not as bad as even we were saying it once was. They have improved very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I mean, I feel like a lot of car companies, they come out, they bring a new product to the US, and a lot of the first time hate is bash, and maybe it was worth it in this. I genuinely had never been in one, seen one before literally 35 minutes ago. So my impressions so far are honestly really cool paint color, first off. So this was a $900 option, if I remember right, Kyle?
Yeah, I think $990. I forget the name of the color, but it's green for those viewers who may not be picking it up, because your lights in here are pretty harsh.
Yeah.
And they're intended to show imperfections. But outside, this is a gorgeous, deep, high metallic green color.
Yep, forest green color, if you will. I think it's cool. First off, VinFast actually has some interesting colors you can get. I think we originally talked about Francie needs to get the bright orange one, to match the Twizy over there.
Yep.
But styling wise, just walking around the car, it looks like a very bland car, maybe from the side, but like the rear end's got a little bit of character with the unique light bars on it. The front end's definitely very unique. But like, again, we talked about today, we're really talking about build quality. I'm very anxious to see, walking around this car, what the panel gaps look like. In all honesty, I expected it to be way worse than my initial impression. I walked up to this thing, I was like, it honestly looks like a pretty tight car. So we're gonna do a lot of that. Then we're gonna jump inside, talk about interior materials. I think that's where this car falls apart a little bit, if you will. We can run through the software quickly. And then lastly, we'll be putting a paint meter on this, because honestly, outside, the paint looks amazing on this. It's really surprising, actually. And in here, yeah, it maybe looks a little dull, but this car's barely been washed. It's had nothing done to it. So it's not gone through my whole process either.
Yeah, so the way, because we know the full history of the car is actually Francie never washed it once.
Yeah, she has not washed it.
So I ran it through the touchless car wash today, which might be its first ever wash in 5,000 miles. It's
Yeah.
at 4,980 miles roughly on the odometer. And we took delivery of this one, and I purposefully heard there was a truck coming from port, and rather than giving the dealer or VinFast sales center an opportunity to like mess with our car or go through it,
Yep.
I purposely changed our VIN number at the last second to one coming straight off the truck, this one, and I watched the car come off the truck, get PDI'd, and come to us with them not touching it at all.
Yeah.
So this is a customer representative, customer delivered vehicle with one touchless wash. No one has had their hands on it other than the software update at VinFast. But again, they didn't know who the heck we were. They just updated the software.
Yeah, so very cool story there. And I'm glad that this isn't like a really gone through car because, to be honest, it kind of looks like it has been. Like, it's actually pretty impressive. So Kyle, let's start up here on the front hood. Is there a front trunk under here?
Yes,
There
go
is.
ahead and open it. It's
Okay.
a double pull, and we can take a look under there.
So double pull situation. We're also charging up the VinFast right here as well. Okay, I double pulled it and it's not pulling after the second one.
Okay, maybe it's a single pull. I drive a lot of cars. I sometimes
I know.
get them mixed up.
I know. It's hard to know. Maybe it was a double pull.
Yeah, I thought it was a double pull. I think it even says 2X on it.
I don't know. I couldn't see it.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Wow, actually not too terribly bad, if I'm honest. This is bigger than EV6, EV9. Yeah, that's not great. Hey, but they actually went through and put carpets in here. I wonder if this is part of your $125 carpet package you paid for.
That's right. We did pay for floor mats. I wonder if this is included in that. I'm not sure. But the one thing that does bother me is all of these plastics feel
These
very
are
thin.
Yeah, these are absolutely horrendous. Like, you just feel like you could literally just snap these in half. But okay, some fuse boxes up here, your 12 volt up here. Nothing super interesting up front, I would say, but I don't get the impression that this is extremely cheap. Like, I would say this is very similar to what you'd see in something like a Nissan, other vehicles kind of in that category. Thinking like Aria that would directly compete with this.
Yeah, honestly, this does feel very Aria level in terms of like materials.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. But let's close up the front hood here. Okay.
Good thunk.
Very good thunk. It's just down. The front end styling here, Kyle, there is a lot going on. So first off, this is a full light bar. Nice headlights in here. Just your opinion, what do you think of the styling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a style guy. Yeah,
Sure.
I definitely think like it doesn't look bad. Like, walking up to this car, Pininfarina design, I don't think it's particularly ugly. I wouldn't say it's attractive.
No.
But just my viewpoint, I would say the same thing about the Model Y. I don't think that's a great looking car. And I think this falls into the category. It definitely, to me, is unusual. VinFast doesn't really have a brand identity when it comes to design yet. So there's really no, I would say, like, at least with Tesla, there's cues where like, okay, for sure, there's Tesla, there's Mercedes, there's Audi stuff. There's no historical reference in this design.
Not at all. Not at all.
And that's cool. They can create their own. The question is, will this serve as the future of design, or is each car going to be a total hodgepodge of confusion? And I think it's the second.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. But let's just start up here looking at panel gaps, fit and finish. Hood to fender alignment. This all actually looks very flush.
Dude, it's perfect.
Super even all the way through, even up here. I mean, we see companies like Rivian and Tesla struggle with getting these areas. That honestly looks quite nice. One thing I'm going to point out here, this bumper is definitely needs to be a little clipped in, so that's sticking out quite a bit. Front end here, headlights are kind of nicely hidden, I may say. As you can see, both of the projector bulbs down here. Of course, this is part of your light bar. I'm not seeing anything in here, the hood alignment to the headlights, that looks out of place. It all looks quite evenly gapped. I'd say my biggest nitpick, of course, would be here on the front bumper. Also have ultrasonic sensors there. Very cool. Just moving down the front, Kyle, I'm not seeing much here that is like really shouting to me, wow, this is a very cheap car that's made in Vietnam. I mean, I was trying to think about what do I know and have interacted with much that's been made in Vietnam.
Other than food.
And maybe some underwear and clothes and stuff, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like, it's kind of interesting. Like this looks like a BMW radar.
Yeah,
mean,
we'll
there's a
see
lot
some
of-
more BMW stuff inside.
VinFast and BMW have had a relationship for a long time for switchgear, and VinFast has purchased like previous generation chassis, like the old X5.
Yep.
They continued on. They actually put GM V8s in the old X5, which is like you would get a 6.2 out of an Escalade in an X5, which was hilarious.
Insane.
So I kind of like the VinFast spirit, which is, you know, we really kicked them down. I don't mean you and me. I mean, yes, I did, but the entire American media and general acceptance to this car was like, they should have just backed out and left our market. And they have just pushed forwards. The VF9 is now here, their second model, their big SUV. And no question, they are like doing whatever they can to improve the product. And I really don't like working with the people over there, to be honest.
Yep.
I don't think they really like us very much either, but I have to give them credit for really building a car that was garbage, and it's much better now.
Yeah, absolutely. And totally agree. You know, just moving down the side here again.
Dude, this is perfect here.
Exactly. I'm not like, these are really tight bumper alignments. I mean, you can literally walk back here to a $100,000 hand-built Lotus, and like bumpers are kind of
You
everywhere.
just said, there's your problem.
I understand that, but I think for these big production vehicles, you know, of course we see this a lot in Tesla. Tesla really struggles with putting cars together and shipping them to somebody and them being satisfied. To me, it seems like a lot of what Tesla does is they slap the cars together, they send them out to the door, you pick them up at the service center. If you have issues, that's the service center's problem. They're not doing quality control at Tesla, from my impression. But just looking down here, I mean, all of these plastics, this is all fitting very flush. Maybe right here could use a little bit of a push in. You can definitely see it's coming out there.
Yeah, but that's very minor.
Super minor stuff. Charge port. Is this completely manual here?
Yes.
I love it. I hate power charge ports. I can't get over it. It's like, okay, because it's an EV, we need a crazy charge port on it.
What about your Model 3 though?
I know, but they last. But then you have the Rivian ones, which of yours has literally fallen off. The Lucid ones are just crazy how those work. And like
Lyric one where they pop out and boom.
exactly. And take, you know, the new Q6 e-tron we've seen. I think Bjorn did a video on it, and it's just like it's like, oh my gosh. But it seems to me like EVs, a requirement is to have weird charge ports and weird handles. This has normal handles.
Dude, and they feel nice. Let's talk
So
about,
nice.
you know, we just did that Rivian Gen 2 build quality review, and you really hammered the handles. I mean, what, does the VinFast have better handles than a Rivian?
Absolutely, in the second generation. Now, I think this is a weird gripe, but this is one of the areas, just like a steering wheel, you interact with the most. You're not just like, the door's not opening. You have to open it every single time. Oh, the door was slightly open there. But if you have a terrible experience, you just kind of don't have a good feeling. EQ products, sorry, have to shout them out every single time. The worst door handles ever. They feel so cheap, so plasticky. And this is just normal door handle. Great door thud.
Dude, it's like, so this car weighs about 1,000 pounds more than it should. And I think all the weight went to the doors. 'Cause it feels like, maybe not Rolls Royce, but they're heavy doors.
Do we know what this weighs?
Yes, I'll have to look it up.
Let's see what this says in here for, I know this.
It'll tell you gross vehicle weight in there.
Yeah.
So it has 900 pounds of payload.
I've never seen GAR. GAWR?
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't
So
matter.
it's 6,000. What is that number? 6404 minus 900 is what it weighs.
Okay, so that's pretty hefty.
Yeah, high fives.
That's pretty hefty. I mean, that's like more than your Model S, for
Yeah,
example.
it could be. The one thing on the door handle I don't like is this button.
Okay.
And it's only on the driver's side. And it feels so cheap. And that button feels like it's going to fall out of there.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
That's the
But it
unlock
is a
lock.
little nice and clicky, at least. Like,
What I like on these door handles is that when I can put my hand here and it recognizes I'm ready to unlock it, and then I can just brush my fingers here to have it lock. My
oh,
e-golf
cool.
has that. This doesn't.
So then why have the button?
No, no, no. I'm saying that's what I wanted this to have.
Oh, I
Yeah,
gotcha. I
this you
thought
have
it
to
was
use the
like,
button.
but why would you have the button there? That's so weird.
Nope. So you have to use the button, and you can't do keyless entry other than the driver door.
Okay, fair enough. Just looking down the door here, Kyle, we've seen a lot of companies, Rivian, one of recently, that I've been seeing areas like this here where you basically open the door and it comes in contact with the fender. Drew's R1T has that issue, and literally brand new truck, 2023, I guess, technically.
Yeah,
But
open the door on this. Let's check it.
yeah, so you open the door and it
Oh,
would,
perfect.
yeah, that's exactly what you want. You can see the gap here, nice and flush all the way down. This gap follows perfectly.
Dude, even to the plastics, it's
I
perfect.
know. Yeah,
What?
it's really surprising. Really surprising. Francie and I have talked about this forever. She's like, I really want you to do a build quality review. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm really going to trash this thing. And then I saw it and I'm like, what? Really? I mean, moving down to the driver's side door to the rear one, like literally perfect gapping all the way down, yet again into the plastic. Come back to the rear door. Same exact thing.
And I'm so glad we bought this one, because if we received a press car from VinFast that looked like this,
Yeah.
we'd be like, they spent 3 years dialing this thing in.
Yeah, every bolt's been adjusted slightly.
This is a bit off.
Totally agree with you there. Yep. So this is an area I talk about all the time that I don't know why all manufacturers have issues with this. Maybe because it's multiple pieces. So you, of course, have your chrome trim. You've got your rubber seal. You can see that it's not really sitting properly there. So these aren't great, but honestly, that's a lot of manufacturers I see. Mercedes, Audi, you'll definitely see some stuff like that. Back here, okay, yeah, you can tell that this doesn't perfectly line up there.
It just seems like this whole strip needs to just have a little
that
bit
strip's
different.
a little strange there.
Is it the same on the other side?
I don't know. Well, let's check it out. I think it's interesting what they did here with the chrome accents versus the rubber down here. But this side actually looks quite a bit better.
Yeah, this looks better.
Yeah, all the seals. You can see some like weird stuff like that's not
the heck?
perfect there. I don't know what is going on there. This side's a little bit over now.
So this one was built in Vietnam, and it has literally a 0% U.S. parts content.
I thought that was funny. We didn't even mention the price on this. This is $48,000.
Yeah,
We can pull
yeah,
out
grab the sticker. It's just over 48 grand.
which is kind of crazy. I mean, I think this is a car you lease. If you're
Yeah.
buying this, oh my God.
I would not buy this car. We are not sure of the longevity or anything like that. But yeah, this thing's 48,315, and I love this U.S. Canadian parts 0%.
So a lot of parts coming out from South Korea as well. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so a reasonably expensive car, I would say, for what you're getting as far as tech features, things
it's
like that.
squarely in the middle of Model Y pricing, right up there with even base Q4 e-tron.
Yeah.
I don't know, Q4 maybe a little bit more money, but certainly ID4, EV6, Ioniq 5. This is a direct competitor.
Yep.
And we've reviewed all of those cars on this channel. So, I mean, just the initial impression from the outside compared to the German competition, the South Korean competition, the American competition, where does this stack up, Colton?
Honestly, I gotta it's really actually getting up there, to be totally honest.
Is it the best of them?
Honestly, I think the Koreans probably have that. Like, I remember EV6 GT, it was a press car we had, but the thing was like nearly flawless, like really precise everywhere. I mean, technically in this category, you could have Audi e-tron, like the big fat e-tron.
Yeah, but Q8s are 70, 80 now.
But they are like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, I understand what you're saying. But
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, well-built car. I mean, just looking down this side, I don't see anything a little off. Back here, Kyle, I did notice one thing going on here. And within the trunks, so first off, just looking up in this particular area where the spoiler meets the hood, you can see it's almost flush there, kind of dips down, and then it's a little bit more flush. So probably some warping going on in this plastic, very similar to what Rivian has in their rear caps, as I call them.
R1S has struggled there.
Ooh, very much so. One thing I like back here, no wiper right here, and it's actually hidden up here. Why don't more manufacturers do that? It looks so much cleaner.
Yeah, Suburbans, Tahoes have it like that.
I mean, Kyle and I were both mini guys way back in the day. How many times did you do the rear wiper delete on yours? Because I did it on every single one.
I'm not a rear wiper delete guy, but I knew you had done that, and my friends have done that.
Yep.
I think my GP even came without a rear wiper.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the GPs didn't have it. So anyways, I want to show you up here. You can see this gap. This should follow all the way down perfectly, and then you get to here, and wow, that gets a heck of a lot tighter in here.
Dude, this also just seems a bit big here.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
What about on this side? Do you have your gap tool? Yeah,
that's what I was just going to grab here.
Oh, and it's actually fairly sharp on the inside of this.
On the plastic?
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to mention to the viewers is I can look at just a little bit of pressure, and I can make.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, you can deflect any surface on this car. I don't know why it weighs so much if they're using such thin metal, because also, I just want to mention an annoyance of mine. Whenever you're on the highway, the hood buffets.
Really?
Yeah, so my Rivian actually did this, but this...
Oh my God.
Yeah, I see the hood warping as I'm driving.
Yeah, you can play the drums on the hood of the Vinfast.
Ours has a dent right here, as you can see, right there.
Not sure what that was from. It doesn't look like a little impact point there. Or anything.
Someone may have breathed on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hood just...
And you know, honestly, I would say, I was telling Kyle, when I, buff on Model 3s and even Model S's, the whole hood is doing this. I mean, we're using very thin layers of metal on here. But yeah, let's check out this gap here. So this gap tool does basically by millimeters. So that is about 6 millimeters there. And then you can tell down here, it is less than 2. So a 4 millimeter difference in gapping there. Okay. Not great, to be honest.
That's not great.
But let's look over here. Do it on this side. Okay, so that's about a 5. So honestly, not bad side to side. But then look at this gap here. And that's over 6.
Okay, so it has some weird trunk fitment.
Yep.
And again, I think a lot of people this won't matter to them, especially if they're leasing the car or buying it. But it's a good way to understand, I would say, the effort a car manufacturer goes into to build a consistent product.
Well, and I think it comes to annoyances, like we were talking with Drew's Rivian. I mean, he just spent a decent amount of money on the car. If you're literally opening your door and it's contacting another panel, taking paint off, nobody wants that experience. That's not a fun experience to have. So I do want to open this up. I don't even know where it is. Okay.
Not powered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we
have the base one. If you get this is the Eco trim. If you get the nice one, it comes with a powered trunk.
Okay. So we got some really nice LED lights up here. I actually felt like I was going to pull this off when I just did that. It feels a little weird.
Okay.
What's going on with the 2 cameras?
Well, you really want to see, but then it has the worst camera quality ever.
Absolute potato. Like
you almost cannot see what's behind you. I forgot it has 2 cameras. I don't know why.
Yeah, we'll show you the cameras when we jump inside.
That's so stupid.
It's insane. So back here, I just want to shut this down. I mean, no smooth actuation. Wow, it's actually quite heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, not too terribly bad. I really like the rear light bar. I don't know. It looks nice. I really wish this was lit up with the V. I think that'd be pretty cool. This is interesting. I saw somebody commented this, that now the new modern thing is to spell out your vehicle, what brand it is on the back. Even the Amira has that over there.
Well, I think especially for a brand like VinFast that's new, this is marketing.
Yeah.
This is brand
if you look at this, you'd be like...
like V? What the heck is
that?
Is a
Cadillac SYV or what's going on here? But honestly, exterior fit and finish, I really like. There's a few small tolerances that I'm not like completely thrilled with.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to be like, this is a horribly built car.
Before we go inside, let's talk about paint quality. I will get to paint thickness in a bit, but just your color impression, because you were telling me the bumpers look to be a different color.
So come back here and get this.
Do you have your sunlight gauge thing?
I do. You can probably literally just see it right there, hopefully in camera. Probably 2x on that will definitely show it. Totally different colors there. But let me grab my scan grip light. Honestly, I mean, this color to me very much looks like something you'd see on Audi or BMW. Like, it's actually a very cool metallic color.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to this camera here. Here we go.
So yeah, you can definitely see a good bit of difference there. This is a heck of a lot darker than up here.
For sure.
But honestly, that's
a lot of metallic.
It's a ton of metallic. Like, there is like Rivian makes these metallics that are almost like they have dry spots, I'll call them. There's like a lot of space in between metallic. But that bumper, definitely not ideal. This is a problem that every manufacturer runs through, other than like literally Porsche. Porsche bumpers are exactly the same color. My Teslas are both. The front bumpers do not match at all.
Yep, same on mine.
Yeah, Rivian's the same way. So there's a lot of manufacturers that really struggle with that. So I can't knock them too much. Honestly, just looking at the orange peel and texture here, it looks like a tight orange peel. I don't know any other way to really describe it. It's not like big, thick, heavy. To me, the paint just looks dull. Of course, you could polish this out. It'd probably look a heck of a lot better. So honestly, the paint quality, just initially looking at it, looks pretty high, in all honesty.
Okay, well, I'm really excited to see the depth gauges because I think consistency in painting is something that we've seen huge issues with, especially with Lucid and Tesla and others, and Rivian as well. Early R1Ss were pretty bad.
Yeah.
So let's go inside though. Let's show everyone what the heck is going on in here. You just had your first experience inside the VF8 only a few moments ago.
Sure.
And would love to see what your impressions are. Keeping in mind, this is the base model.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't feel super base model, but I think this is the area where they kind of just went cheap in my impression on this car. Like, just the materials aren't the highest quality. I don't think it looks bad. You know, the seats here, very rental car spec looking, I guess you would say. Like,
Dude,
just
I I the I sitting in them makes my day worse. Francie likes them. I don't get it, but to me, they're just like boards. And you said this earlier that it was like my Coda.
Yeah. Well, the material looks, I swear this is the same material they used in your Coda from back, when was that? In
2012.
Yeah. It literally looks like the same seat manufacturer made this. But one thing I'll say is it's very cushy and bouncy. I don't know, Francie's a little bit smaller than both of us are. Like, she got in the EV9 and she's like, I'm so uncomfortable in this seat. So I think you need to kind of sit in the car just like anything and really go through it. But I mean, okay, we have some gray stitching on here. It doesn't look nice. I always call this type of leather, Kyle, and I don't think this is definitely vinyl, not real leather.
Yes.
I always call this elephant skin. It doesn't look great. Like, if you did a high grain leather in here, I think it'd definitely improve that quality.
Yeah, and I don't think the high spec gets different seats.
No, I definitely don't think it does. But I mean, let's jump on.
Steering wheel's cool.
Yeah, let's jump on in here. Do we have the key? We did not even talk about the key.
Do you have the key?
I don't know where the key's at. We got keys
right here. Here you go.
So, first off, just jumping in here.
I'll jump in the back seat so we can see what you're seeing. Yeah, door handles feel all right.
So, why is the car not on?
You hit the brake pedal.
Ah.
Goes 300 miles an hour.
And all the lights on. So first off, let's just start here on the interior with the key. It's upside down, Kyle.
Yeah, let's show her.
You naturally want to hold this because your keychain would be at the bottom, and now you have an A, and everything's upside down.
So it's a Vinfast.
It's something. So pretty simple controls on here. This looks like a doorbell, I would say, like your alarm, but it's more of a blob. And then you have unlock, lock, and then trunk. So pretty straightforward key.
So what I've been doing is I've been accidentally hitting the trunk to lock it.
Oh, yes. Let's turn on some air here as it's a little toasty in the shop.
Yeah.
So just starting off here, of course, big screen. What do you think of the screen here, Kyle?
Yeah, don't like it at all.
It looks terrible. I mean, it literally looks like, I don't know, a cheap Android phone, I would say would be the best way.
When people tell me, or when I see that green text bubble, this is what I imagine.
Yeah, this is their UI interface they're using.
UI. And I'm not the best reviewer of software, but to me, it's just so ugly. So what's weird, though, is I actually think the Mercedes EQ system looks good in person, and everyone hates it.
I'm one of those who hates it.
You don't like it? Okay.
No.
So to me, this must be what everyone thinks the EQ system looks
Yep.
like. And I kind of get it because this is terrible. But it has some cool functions. Like it shows we have 9 kilowatts coming into the port, but only 4 is going into the battery because we just kicked on the AC.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. It does like stuff like that, but it's at the wrong angle. It has this coating, this non-gloss coating that makes it really fingerprinty. And even just looking at it head on, I have fingerprints right there.
Oh yeah.
And it is the most infuriating display to see.
Yeah, it's at a weird angle. It just like needs to come here, like just be a little more straightforward. I mean, I think they of course went the Tesla approach here, looking like a Model 3, just a big slab. You know, all of your climate controls are here in the menu. No real physical buttons of any sort for, you know, climate or anything like that. But like, look at the detail they go into here. Like this is real racetrack stuff, Kyle, telling you your temperature in your tires with PSI.
I love it.
Like, what other car do you get that in?
Also, Colton, you'll love this. But when you navigate somewhere, it doesn't just say you're 11.4 miles away. It says you're 11.43 miles away.
Wow.
And so you get real hardcore accuracy. I mean, it gives you state of charge in the head-up display, which is a pretty bright, nice head-up display. The car's got route planning. Like, it does good stuff. It's not, and that's what I've noticed today driving around is like, I actually kind of enjoy driving it around. This video isn't really about that, but I would say like, yeah, the inside's the worst part of this car.
Totally agree. I mean, there are some like decent points of it. I mean, the heads up display is really nice. I don't think the steering wheel is completely offensive here.
No.
Like you have very nice physical buttons that actually have a good feel to them. We, of course, actually now, Kyle, I can actually see the infrared coming through these little dots. I was asking Kyle what those were earlier. You have, of course, more driver monitoring thing here.
You see the red lights
Yeah,
through.
that's really interesting. But like the steering wheel is a decent size. My only negative here, I mean, the material is actually nice. I'm not a huge fan of perforated leather here on the side. The whole reason behind that is you wear lotion, sunscreen. These get all kind of gummed up, and this will become like this sooner or later. It doesn't look good.
Sorry, point to what you did there before.
This will turn into this.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
over
nasty.
time. So you got to clean your steering wheels. It's really, really gross. But I mean, honestly, sitting in here, the more you look around, the more cheap plastic you see.
Yeah, like try and close the door and grab the handle. That's awful.
Yeah. I mean, let me see if I can hear this down here. Yeah, that's not great.
No, lots of creaky interaction points and bad. I mean, that was one thing when Alyssa and I drove it for the first time. Like that is just not a good door handle.
Yeah, it's very, very cheap feeling. You know, like the top of the dash here, very hard plastics. This is kind of more of a soft touch kind of pleather material, if you will, here. But I mean, it doesn't look incredibly offensive. You can see they've kind of went with the little V situation going on here to follow with the screens and things. I mean, I just think, Kyle, this car is not offensive to me in any way, just jumping in. It's not like, oh my God, this is the cheapest car. Like,
No, not at all. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, sitting back here from the back seat point of view, we don't have the glass roof. That would really help liven it up a little bit. But, you know, it's still using USB-A ports except for this single USB-C. But no, dude, sitting in here is not bad. And it's like just as nice as any Nissan or honestly Toyota.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of those companies just go a little like crazy on the design, but they still have materials that feel very similar to this. You know, like these vents, I really think if you were angry one day, you could probably snap this and break it forever.
Yes.
Like just, I don't want this anymore. It's like some of this stuff is a little cheap feeling, but I mean, park, reverse, neutral, drive here, these have a decent dampening on them, like completely unoffensive. This is my favorite button in the whole car here.
Okay.
It is, oh, hello, we don't want to get demonetized. But yeah, it just has a really nice kind of weight to it. Like this actually feels extremely premium, I would say, like better volume knobs than most vehicles out there. A funny thing, just looking back here at the steering wheel, these are straight out of a BMW, like literally straight out of, I went to hit it and I was like, yeah, I felt that in an X5 before. So it's like, okay, you have some nice switch gear in here, but yeah, I mean, the front seat, very bland, I would say. You know, oh my God, these lights, yeah. Okay,
yeah, so Alyssa did that earlier today, and she's like, okay, when you start putting your hands places where they normally don't go, they really saved a lot of money, but the car doesn't squeak, the car doesn't rattle,
yeah,
the car's tight, And that's impressive to me because I was just in Brandon's brand new Model 3 Performance and it had a rattle.
Oh, they all do.
Then
That's just
this
the
didn't-
Tesla thing.
Yep, this doesn't have any rattles.
That's really the Tesla thing, in all honesty. Let's talk about NVH a little bit, noise, vibration, and harshness. Not the quietest car, definitely not.
No.
We have double glazed front windows. Okay, very nice. We have single rear. Suspension, it goes between this weird like booty twerk that it does, but then it's like oddly stiff at times.
It's just not good suspension.
No, it's just not tuned, and it feels like the car was supposed to be 1,000 pounds lighter than it is. Yeah, and that's the suspension tuning they use there. It's reasonably quiet, but I wouldn't say it's like, mind-blowing quiet, like an Audi or something like that.
And I think it's priced accordingly. I think when you look at this compared to Aria, it really comes to mind because Aria has some really cheap plastic stuff inside of it.
Yeah.
And it's not an incredibly cheap car. This is right on par with the category. I mean, there's nothing about the build quality of this car or material usage that puts it particularly behind the pack. And I think that's the big exclamation mark for this car, the big eye opener, because everyone expected everything to be crap.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not. I mean, Colton, I would say this carbon stuff is not it.
No, the carbon's pretty bad. I literally said it looks like it's hydro dipped in somebody's garage type situation, but it's probably printed on there. Yeah, I mean, it's just, okay, you can touch things and they're cheap, but like I complain about $90,000 BMWs having very cheap plastic at the bottom of the doors, very similar to this. And honestly, I've kind of felt worse, to be honest. It's just not that offensive, I think, is my biggest takeaway from the inside.
I'm going to come around to the front. I want to look at the carpets because we talked about this in the Rivian build quality review about the carpet material. I will say the AC compressor is loud.
It's ripping.
It's ripping. What's your impression? I know the car's dirty at the moment, but this just feels like I don't know.
Feels like a Nissan, honestly.
It doesn't feel bad.
No, it's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, carpet is one of those things that, in my impression, really can make or break the feeling of a car sometimes. Like Rivian does such nice carpet. Range Rover has some of the nicest out there. Then you get in a Tesla and you really realize every time you vacuum it, how cheap it is. It just like holds everything in there.
Whatever they use in the trunk of my Model S is the worst possible material ever.
Totally agree. I always say Tesla literally has the worst carpets.
And we're big Tesla fans. But don't call this. We're not knocking Tesla here on purpose, but we want to see them improve their carpets.
I mean, is there a perfect car out there? No. So like, there's
Rolls-Royce Spectre comes kind of close.
Yeah. She's just a little expensive, if you may,
Yes.
But like, I mean, there's nitpicks in every single car, but I mean, okay, that's a little strange. Kyle, I was just noticing this. Are we missing a throttle pedal cover to match these two?
I actually don't think so. I think that's how it's supposed to come.
That's really strange. I've never seen that in a car. Because like the new R1s have, just the rubber material pedals on here and even the kick plate, and then the tri and quad motor have the aluminum ones, which is the fancy one. I've never seen a layout like that. That's pretty hilarious, to be honest.
Okay, that's incredible.
Oh my god.
That's pretty bad.
This is like really, they put no dampening in this, sir. It's just like open. Hello. Yeah, that's some very cheap. Okay, that doesn't fit very well. So that'll rattle over time for sure. But like even these plastics back here, okay, they're hard, but
It's like Mini. It's the same plastic as Mini.
Totally agree. But even like Taycan has this in totally plastic here. Everybody scratches this up where you can see this is just getting hammered here as well. So like, okay, yeah, unoffensive. Door panels, not a lot good here, I would say.
No, I agree.
Okay, so we have ambient lighting, which is super dim. It's also very bright lighting here. These are some soft touch materials. Okay, completely fine. Hard plastics here. Soft touch here. Soft touch. Now, I said that the buttons out of the window controls, I think, are out of a BMW. I could be totally wrong, but just this kind of goldish chrome doesn't match a single thing on the rest of the car. It is a completely different color from this. So it came out of something, we'll just say that.
Yeah, we don't know what. That's the thing with VinFast is it's a little bit of a part spin special.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that's not cohesive.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's quickly just jump into the back seat here, I guess. I mean, the front end, unoffensive, decent materials towards the top, but like cheap down here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this stuff's not great down there.
No felt in there, no carpet in there. Stuff is going to make noise. But,
Yep.
you know, and it's not that cheap of a car, but okay, this is kind of nitpicking for sure in that area.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, should it be nicer for almost 50 grand?
yes.
Yeah, for
absolutely.
sure.
But they
it
give you a
definitely
big
should.
battery.
Yeah, you do get a big battery.
But
That's
bad efficiency.
Yeah, terrible
So
efficiency.
That's not the equation. All right, back seat review time.
holy bench seat. Could
Dude,
you
it's-
make any flatter of a seat? Wow. Yeah, that's impressively flat. I haven't even sat back here, actually.
So these are popular taxis in Vietnam.
Really?
Yes.
So have you noticed that the floor is like slightly slanted back here?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Look at that.
Which is actually kind of nice because your feet naturally want to kind of sit up when you're at this angle. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And the seats recline back here, apparently.
Definitely do. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this just feels like any basic rental car. Like, you could probably pull that off in about 3 seconds there.
Yeah, if you're angry.
Bad day if you're angry in a
That's very
VinFast.
BMW.
Yeah, it definitely is. Or Audi even. I mean, my '05 Allroad, this looks like the same exact part out of here. You know, no rear screens or anything going on back here. This plastic, yeah,
Oh,
pretty
dude,
rough.
That's bad.
That's really not good. You know, yeah. So like the back, not great. One thing I would say was the redeeming factor back here is like the slanted floor. That's pretty cool. Interesting. They have gear tunnel cover here going
I
on.
believe this was a combustion platform
Makes
at
sense.
one point.
Makes sense. Yeah, totally makes sense. No rear peasant blockers back here.
Yeah, no, but it's 50, you know, whatever, 48 grand.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's totally fine. There is literally zero bolstering on this seat.
I know. That might mean it folds down flat.
It probably does.
How do you fold down the seats
I
in this
don't
car?
even know.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Right here. But I just need you to pull this one forwards for me, Colton.
Pull that one?
Yep. Pull the headrest on this forwards.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, dude, it goes pretty flat.
It really does, actually.
So that's the benefit of no bolstering.
So why? So this is not a Coleton friendly
No, not a
situation.
Not a single-handed friendly.
Okay, not too terribly bad. Holy smokes! Feel this carpet.
Dude, I've never felt anything like that.
Feels like
It feels like a cardboard box.
it feels like felt. I don't even like, and not a good felt.
No. So you can just lose your dog's paw in here.
Oh, for sure.
So wait, let's pull these up. Close that back down. No, yeah, your paw is slipping right in there.
Oh yeah. Well, look at this. You put any weight.
Oh no.
What is going on there? This is not a great dog car. That is insane, dude. It just like folds off of there. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
No.
That's really bad design.
Yeah. I mean, look at the.
It's already folding apart.
Yes. Look at like the cut lines on here. I mean, this is not something you normally look at, but like just the quality there,
Yeah.
not great. Okay, so yeah, backseat review, not great. Plastics back here, surprisingly better than EV6.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I just bought an EV6. The plastics in the rear, terrible, absolutely terrible.
Huh.
Okay, let's go to
But
the rear
not
trunk.
terrible in here.
No, honestly, like they have more weight to them.
Dude, the door thunk's nice in this
The
car.
door thunk just goes. So it's like weirdly dampened.
Yeah, it's like you're pushing. It's supposed to be motorized, and these are slowing you down, but
That's
it's not
so strange.
motorized.
Okay.
They
Whatever.
say lift assist.
Okay, that I'd call that lift assist. So can you like slightly open this and it'll go
Yes.
up? Oh, and then it kind of locks itself. So where's like the tipping point? Okay. Yeah. It's fine. That is so slow.
That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, that's like, give me that thing open. EVSE back here. Okay. Cool that it's Vinfast branded.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
Yep, not bad. 32 amp.
This is something, yeah. This is what happens when you put very cheap carpets. See all this piling in here?
Yes.
Do you actually know how you get this out?
No.
You can shave it.
What?
Yes. Literally with like a beard trimmer.
Yeah.
You just take this and shave it and that'll all go away.
That's very bad material.
Yeah. Our ID4 does this as well.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So if you're using your car as hauling anything and actually put stuff back here, this happens all the time. That's
dude,
what-
I don't know if I would trust this piece to put any weight on it.
It's insane. What it like these little plastic pieces over here. Okay, they just sit there. But yeah, up here, no weight to put on there. What's underneath the floor? Look how these fold in. It's kind of interesting.
Well, that's why they did it, I guess.
And it stays. Okay.
Oh.
That's decently nice. Yeah, not much under here. Is there supposed to be a spare tire in here?
No.
Because that looks like a donut
Why is
holder.
that just sitting loose in there?
And Francie may have been back here doing some fun
what the
stuff.
heck?
I don't know. I don't think she's gone through any of this or maybe even opened
I don't
it.
think it was delivered like this.
Okay, well, fair enough. Huge piece of foam here, just holding a bunch of tools. The jack is missing from here. I don't know. That could just be our car, but...
Okay.
So Francie doesn't have a jack if she needs one. But, okay.
Well, I got to look into that for her.
Yeah, interior review. Front seats are fine.
Nah, I don't know about that.
From the back, yeah, I think they're fine, though.
I don't know about that.
What
It
is
hurts.
fine?
I'm in pain when I sit in them.
Okay, I had 10 minutes in the car, so
Yeah.
I can't really say, like,
But
a
Francie
road trip.
loves them. But
Yeah.
I would give them a 2 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair. But, like, material-wise, I would say, like, the top portions are fine. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
4, 5, 6 out of 10. And then everything below that, crap. And then the whole back
Yeah,
seat to the
crap.
rear tail,
Yeah.
pretty crap.
But the exterior is way nicer than the interior.
Yeah, it's like they just spent all the money on the outside and the huge, ginormous battery and all the lead that they put in this to
Yeah.
make it weigh so much, and then just skip the interior.
I still can't figure out why it weighs so much.
It's insane.
Can we do a paint meter?
Let's do a paint meter, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay. I'm going to turn off the air conditioning
It is
because I
ripping.
think it's actually heating up the shop
I
more
think
than
so.
cooling the car. And it's using 6 kilowatts of AC, which is crazy. So there we go. Off.
All right, we'll be quick with this one.
So what are you looking for?
So, this is a paint meter, for those of you that don't know. This is a very cheap one that's off Amazon. It is not going to give me the absolute most accurate. It's going to give me a rough idea. The cool thing with this, it does come with calibration strips. I've completely calibrated this, and you can see the thickness go up. It's plus or minus 1 to 2% range that it's in.
Close enough.
But basically what this does, you have a little metal tip here, and you put it on the top of the paint. It sends a signal down to the actual metal, sends a signal back, gives you your measurement. So what we look for here is paint thickness and paint consistency. So you don't want to see an area that's like 2 mils of paint and one that's 10 mils of paint. That's not consistent at all. For example, 4 mils of paint is roughly the thickness of a sheet of paper. That includes your primer, that includes your color coat, and your clear coat. So very thin. So I would say realistically, the lowest you really want to see, 3-5 area, the more paint, normally the better. So let's just give a good little sample here. 5.3 mils.
Damn, that's perfect.
It's exactly what you want to see. That's what you'd see on an Audi, BMW.
Oh,
Very accurate
544.
in between there.
543. What the heck? 576.
Holy
553.
smokes, friend.
558. Dude, this is on the
Whoa.
money.
Are you kidding? What?
I don't think I've ever seen something this consistent.
No, I mean, like, you even get to Audis and they're, 2 mils difference here. So that's
5.9.
almost 6,
6. Okay.
right at 6.
It's still close.
So that's like, I don't know.
That's 1 mil low to high, which is
Yeah.
really close.
That's really, I mean, I see swings like, for example, Lucid, I was seeing under 2 mils. More on that coming soon to the channel. And then you get to Porsche and you get a PTS car and they're like 15 to 17, like a ton of paint on there to get the depth. So we'll just quickly walk around here. 526. Why is this so hot? Feel that.
Oh my God. I have no idea.
I don't know if it's the headlights or the AC ripping or what. 504. Let's come down here. What?
What was that?
513. Like,
Wow.
okay. Hood to front fender there, literally perfect. Let's just keep going here.
I mean, 512.
Dude,
Dude, it's bang on everywhere.
so far, this is the best I've ever seen, to be totally honest.
Yeah, and you've done, $500,000 Porsches and stuff. This is crazy.
It is like spot on. 489.
Okay.
Still slightly low, but like lower. Oh, that's not great.
Okay, not good there.
Yep.
So we found a high spot.
So
there's some
little
weird thing
difference
going
there.
on here.
I just said, wow, this thing was amazing. And then Vinfast heard me speak. And they're like,
They said,
no,
"Oh,
sir.
hold up our brand reputation here."
6,497. Okay, so I don't know. The front end's really good, going with how the interior
what about
does.
the middle of the door?
490. 503. Okay. So now we're
That
starting
seems
to,
like more normal car to me.
yeah,
This is
exactly.
what I would have expected.
A little bit over. So it's like, again, just like the interior, they really care about the front, and then as it comes back, they start caring less. I think the paint shop is doing the same thing.
6.5. Okay.
Yeah, so those are big swings here. So that's a plastic piece. Can't measure that.
So the trunk plastic? Nope.
Nope.
4.9. 5.2. 4.7. Okay, but that seems all normal.
Yeah,
the
totally
hood
agree.
was impressively the same.
7 mils there.
Okay.
Yeah, what the heck?
4.8.
Okay, so now we're getting to like a normal car. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we started on that section to get our expectations high. Let's just go here, I don't know, somewhere here in the middle of the roof. 5, 6, 7. I mean, like, that's so
5.82.
nice to see.
That last one was 5.82?
Yep.
5.8. 5.5. See, that seems normal.
Yeah, that's really good. 4, 7, 8, 5, 15. Let's come to way down here. So that's low. And that's the area you want like the most paint, because that's going to get rock chipped.
And that was the thinnest.
Yeah. So let's go to the area that was like really weird. So that's 6 mils. 4.8. So yeah, a decent difference there.
So something in this area they're struggling with.
Yeah, and honestly, I see this on every car. Like, there is no shame with what they're doing here with their paint, in all
So
honesty.
you're impressed with the thickness.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's better than Lucid. I mean,
what about when you start getting into Audi level? Because I feel like Audi puts a huge emphasis on quality. Have you ever seen a hood on any Audi that's as consistent as this?
it's been a while since I've worked on an Audi, to be honest, but from my experience, they've been like exactly between 4 and 6 mils, and it's consistent throughout their lineup.
Well, that's honestly what this car was.
Yeah. I mean, some high, we saw a 3,
And a
393 and a 7. So like 3 mils different. That adds up over time for sure. But honestly, I expected way worse. I truly expected this paint to look like somebody came in with a rattle can, and maybe that was absolute low expectations, but the orange peel looks reasonably nice. I really like the color on this. It's got a lot of depth in it. Like, if I stand at this angle here, the light is really interesting. It almost looks like it's a gradient color. I don't know if you can kind of see that yellow, and then it goes
Yep.
green and then kind of darker teal colors. It's a really nice color. So no real paint complaints from me, in all honesty.
Same here. I'm so impressed with the paint on this car.
Yeah.
And the fit and finish on the build quality. Materials is one choice that they make, but then assembling the car to the spec is really hard to do.
Yeah.
And they did a incredible job, I think. We have to give them all the props in the world for building a high quality fit and finish product.
Yeah, totally agree. And honestly, completely exceeded my expectations. Very much so. So, wrap up on the VF8 here. Surprisingly good and very unoffensive as a car.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So, I don't know, Colton, any final thoughts before we end this thing?
I think that's it. I'm curious to see more and more of these on the road and see how these change over time. I definitely like to see them put some more money into the interior instead of all that lead that they just put at the bottom of the car to make it heavier. I mean, genuinely, where does that weight come from? It'd be amazing to know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching.
See you on the next one soon. Bye-bye.